Hi, One Best VR Sports Picks. I'm Peter Loshak. Today is Thursday, December 8th. We are talking with Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. We're going to take a look at the Army-Navy game that's coming up this Saturday from the perspective of the total. This is a tricky one. We'll see what Steve has to say about it. Of course, Navy was a hugely explosive offensive juggernaut for most of the season. They were a great bet on the over many, many times. In the videos that we covered with them throughout the regular season, we gave the over on a lot of their games, and a lot of those picks wound up as winners. Now, though, they're going up against Army with some injuries on offense, and these Army-Navy games tend to be, historically, they're relatively low scoring, and of course, it is a low total, 47 or 47 and a half, so we'll see what Steve has to say about it, and then we'll hear what Steve has to say about his own website, collegefootballwinning.com. will tell us what he does there. Steve, thanks for being back with us.
Thank you for having me back, Peter.
All right, Steve. So at the end of the video, we'll get to, we'll hear about how college football season is going for you. But this normally the under in the Army-Navy game is kind of a no-brainer play. But in light of how awesome Navy's been offensively this year, maybe it's not. But then again, they do have the recent injuries that factor in. What's your take on the total here?
You introduced it very well, Peter. So all three service academies, pretty much every viewer watching this, I think, knows this. All three, Air Force, Army, Navy, they run some form of an option offense, so an option attack. And that means tons of running with relatively little clock stoppage. So it's no surprise that on a regular basis, including this year, all three service academies rank in the top 20 for time of possession. So when two service academies play each other, there are fewer offensive plays, and consequently, there's a tendency for fewer points to be scored. In fact, Army-Navy games average 18.78% fewer total plays than their season average because it's option versus option. So that translates to, over the past 10 years, service academy games have gone under the total. So this is all three service academies when they play each other. Under the total 82.14% of the time. So the under is 23-5-1 the last 10 years when service academies play each other. The Army-Navy game has gone under the total the last 10 consecutive years, Peter. This year, both the Army Air Force and the Navy Air Force games, they both went under the total. The last 10 years, this Army-Navy game has averaged going under the closing total by 15.1 points per game, so it's not even close. This Navy defense definitely has a weakness this year, and it's their passing defense. By yards per attempt allowed, this is the worst Navy passing defense in more than a decade. But Army is not at all poised to exploit that Navy defensive weakness. By quarterback rating, this is the worst Army passing game, or the worst Army passing team they've had since 2009. So don't expect that Army can exploit that weakness and put up more points through the passing game. So each team has to stop the run. By yards per carry allowed, this is Army's best rushing defense since 2009. And although it's not necessarily the best Navy rushing defense, this Navy rushing defense is still better than the one they had in 2014 and better than the one they had in 2012. And Navy gave up 10 points to Army in 2014 and just 13 points in 2012. Overall, this is Army's best scoring defense in over a decade. What is more, last week, and you talked about this, the injury situation, Navy lost quarterback Will Worth. How important was quarterback Will Worth to Navy? He's the number 3 scoring leader in the FBS. He's tied for number 1 in Navy history for single-season 100-yard rushing games. He's the outright best in Navy history for passing yards per attempt, passing efficiency, and single-season total offense. So the offense will definitely take a hit because Will Worth will not be there. Also out for Navy, their starting slot back and co-captain, Gully is out. To start the season, a guy who is slated to be the starting kicker, he's been out this whole season, so don't expect many long field goal attempts by Navy. So if they get the opportunity, they might have to punt. So the public betting right now. Public betting is definitely siding with what I'm saying here, the under. More than 50% of the public betting so far, and as we know, we're taping this on Thursday before the Saturday game, significantly more than 50% of the public betting is on the under. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. The last 10 years in service academy games, So again, Air Force, Army, Navy. When the under received more than 50% of the public betting, like this one, the under is 10-2 in those games. And 5 of the last 6 Army, Navy games had a public betting on the under that was greater than 50%. And as we know, all 5 of those games did, in fact, go under. The last 10 years, looking at all of college football, all college football games receiving more than 50% of the public betting on the under, which is not the public's trend, but when that does happen, 55.25% of the time, all college football games, last 10 years, the total does, in fact, go under. So you can tell, obviously, my conclusion here, Peter, is to take the under at 47.5. Our clients here at collegefootballwinning.com got this super early in the week so we can get the best of the number, but it hasn't moved that much. So still recommending a play on the under at 47.5.
Yeah, I only saw it at 48. Did you see a line higher than 48 anywhere?
You mean to start the season? I mean to start the week?
Yeah.
I got data that said that Chris momentarily had it in the 50s.
Really?
I didn't get to bet it there, and my clients didn't get to bet it there, but we definitely saw it at 48, and we got it at 48.
Ooh, I missed it. Yeah, well, I took it at 47 myself. I'm in agreement with Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. 47.5, though, is still available, and that is Steve's recommended play in the Army-Navy game on the total. This is what Steve does. Steve, tell us what you do at collegefootballwinning.com.
At collegefootballwinning.com, all we do is college football betting analysis all year round. We're a company that was founded on making betting recommendations using sets of algorithms. We call those algorithmic betting recommendations our formula. The lifetime of our formula is beating the spread at a rate of 59.66%. This season, the formula is beating the spread at 57.97%, so not that far away from the historical average. It is not too late to join us for Army-Navy and also for the entire bowl season. So come to collegefootballwinning.com. We still are offering, until bowl season starts officially, a 100% money-back guarantee on your entire membership if that's your option. And when you go to collegefootballwinning.com, put in coupon code SBR10, it's SBR10, and we'll give you 10% off of any membership that we're currently offering.
All right. Thanks so much, Steve. Talk to you again very soon.
Thank you, Peter.
Go to SBRodds.com. Browse, compare, and shop live odds available at top online sportsbooks.